Diet culture and food talk is all around us. And unfortunately, I hear comments all the time about people's food or their body or whatever it might be that frankly don't need to be said. And I think it's perpetuating this cycle of kind of negativity. And what's happening is people are either making negative comments about their body out loud, or they're justifying their food choices when they don't need to do that. And it all stems from this idea that we're all supposed to eat one certain way, and if we're not, we have to justify that, which of course is not true at all. We're all unique individuals and we all have different food needs, and you don't need to explain yourself to the person next to you of why you're eating X, Y, and Z. So a lot of these comments that I hear are inherently pretty negative. Even if people don't necessarily mean it that way, they tend to be a more negative view on one food or food group or whatever it might be, and frankly could come across judgmental to someone else, again, even if they didn't necessarily mean it that way. So I wanted to bring this up because I think these are phrases that we need to work on changing or shifting what we're saying. So the first phrase is actually, "Today is my cheat day." Now, if that's something that you do, you have a cheat day as a part of your week. First of all, I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's a whole other can of worms that I'm not going to open today. But instead of saying today's my cheat day, first of all, remember, you don't have to say anything because you don't have to justify your choices that day. But second of all, what you could just say is, "Oh, I haven't had this food in a while. I'm really excited to have it." Or, "I've been craving this food. I can't wait to eat it today." Something like that. But you don't have to address that day as a cheat day. Now, the other ones that I'm going to mention, these all kind of fit into the same category. And that first one is, "I just really try to eat clean," or "I was really bad over the weekend," or whatever, it doesn't matter, "Calories don't count today." So the reason I lumped those three in together is because those three things are all ways that people feel like they have to justify that this isn't their normal. That whatever they're eating with their friends or family or whatever, they wouldn't typically eat. And again, I ask the question, why do you feel like you need to justify that? And it kind of stems from this diet culture mentality that everybody should just be eating protein and vegetables. And if you had, I don't know, something totally different, let's say you had cake and lasagna and fettuccine alfredo and whatever all in a weekend, that you feel like you have to justify that, but you don't. Your food choices are your own, and you don't have to explain to someone that you're going to change that on Monday or whenever that's going to be. So for those three things, I actually say try not to say anything, right? So "I just try to eat clean," "I was really bad this weekend," or whatever, "Calories don't count today." Those three things I would really challenge you to just remove from your vocabulary. Now, there could be a supplement of saying maybe like, "Oh, I haven't eaten these foods in a long time. I'm really excited I had to have these this weekend, but on Monday I'm going to go back to meal prepping," or something like that. But even that, I think, can be a little bit negative. So I would say those three things, try just to not say. The other statement that I hear a lot is, "Oh, I sometimes allow myself X food," right? What do you mean you allow yourself? You're allowed to eat all foods anytime that you want to. Now, I know people hear that and they say, "Are you telling me that I could just eat 20 donuts every single day?" No, that's not what I'm recommending. But in theory, yes, you could. Now, would I say that that's a good choice? No. But you technically are allowed to do that. Now, on a more moderate note, yeah, you're allowed to have a donut. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to tell yourself like, "Oh, I'll give this my little treat today." It doesn't have to be this big drawn out thing. Just have the donut and carry on with your day. So instead of saying, "I sometimes allow myself to eat X," maybe say, "I'm really excited to have X food today. I haven't had this in a week." Or maybe you had it yesterday and you could even say, "I had one of these yesterday. I'm so excited to have another one today." But again, it's reframing that. Another one is this idea of penance. And so what I often hear is, "I need to work these calories off later," or "It's okay, we'll just hit the gym extra hard tomorrow," or "Oh, I'm going to have to run a couple extra miles to burn this off," or whatever it might be. Movement should not be penance for the food that you eat. Movement should be something that you love doing. Movement is great for your body. It's something that I want you to do. It's something that I want you to incorporate in your day-to-day if you can and you're able. But if not, that's okay too. But all of that to say, movement should be something that you love. It should never be penance for the food that you ate. What I don't ever want you to feel is that you need to exercise to burn something off that you ate. That can lead to this really negative cycle of under-eating and over-exercising. So those statements, again, similar to the others, I'd actually challenge you to not say anything, but maybe what you could say if you really wanted to bring up your exercise routine is say like, ooh, I'm on this journey to exercise every day for a week. I'm excited to start that next week. Or maybe you talk about your actual fitness goals. Like, ooh, I have a goal to be able to run 6 miles by the end of the summer. Or I have a goal to be able to lift 40 pounds doing X, Y, and Z. Those kinds of things are definitely more positive as opposed to saying that you have to exercise to burn off the food that you ate. Now, the last one is kind of pertaining to body, right? Now, a lot of people will be like, oh, I feel so fat, or I feel so this, or oh, this bloating stinks. Those are the kind of comments that I really want you to avoid. And instead of saying something negative about your body in that situation, even if the thought comes up, I want you to try to reframe it as something positive. So let's say you do actually feel bloated. Don't necessarily say that. Instead, what you could just say is like, ooh, I'm really full. Right? That would be the most basic, easy way. But on a little bit harder of a note is turn it into something positive. So if you think, oh, I'm really bloated, instead of actually saying that, just be like, I really like my hair today. I'm having a good hair day. And you're probably like, well, what does that have to do with bloating? It's all about shifting the mindset, turning things to be more positive so that your initial reaction isn't to be negative about your body or your food talk, and turning it more positive. So again, I wanted to bring these up today because these are things that I often hear that I think are a seed or a result of diet culture that I really think we need to work on changing. So try to change this narrative about food and body, and it's going to make you feel so much more positive about your food choices and where your body's currently at. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys.